So it looks like the MLB draft is only going to be 5 rounds. This has been confirmed.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned it, but now it's real.
Yeah. So we talked about last week how people were hearing 5 rounds, 10, and it has came out. MLBPA has give MLB the green light to do 5 rounds. They wanted 10, but they ultimately gave it 5 rounds.
I just don't understand how 5 rounds is going to do any kind of justice, man, because you're used to having 40 rounds.
Yes.
40 rounds. Think about
40 rounds
this.
last year. The MLB draft had 1,200 players drafted. So this year it's going to be 160 players. If you add most likely the supplemental picks that's going to be thrown in it. But yeah, so 160 what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 5/8 of the rounds, man. It's just nuts.
So if you think about some of the 6 through 10 rounds,
Okay.
this is some of the names that have been drafted recently. Jacob deGrom, Dallas Keuchel, Paul Goldschmidt, Marcus Semien, Whit Merrifield, Kyle Hendricks, Brian Dozier, Trey Mancini, just to name a few.
Exactly. So that's what we talked about last episode. We said there's going to be some diamonds in the rough. We're going to have guys that are worthy. They're going to be great players that aren't even going to get drafted this year.
But then the other news came out about if you don't get drafted, which I think is a dumb smack in the face. But before we get into that, so apparently there are bonuses for these players who do get drafted.
Okay.
They're getting their bonus is not coming out right. They're not getting it right away.
Oh, no.
So this is what apparently is being reported.
It's getting deferred?
90% is getting deferred.
Oh, no.
They're going to get 10% up front when they sign. 45 is getting paid next July. And the remaining 45 is going to be July after that.
Okay, so with that being said, do you think that right there, that stipulation is going to prevent some of these guys from actually signing with the team that drafts them? Because there's been guys who've been drafted first, second, third, fourth round or whatever that didn't even sign with the team, and this is even without those stipulations.
If I'm not a first rounder, it's going to be, I'm going to look at it probably really hard, especially if I wasn't a senior and I can go back.
Exactly, because some guys will bet on themselves. Say you get drafted 5th round, you're like, well, you know what? I think I can get drafted 3rd or 2nd round next time around. I'm going to go back and play. But with that being said, we're not even sure if there's going to be any sports next year because right now all the universities are shut down. And if this thing keeps dragging, the schools, one of the schools I saw recently, like a Texas school or something like that, they just cut their football program, D2 school. They cut their football program already. But what I'm saying is, if this drags on and some schools have to make cuts or something happens and kids don't go back to play or there's no sports next year, that could hurt them as well.
The biggest thing for universities if there's no college football.
I agree.
Because college football pretty much pays for majority of other sports, especially the bigger universities.
Well, let me tell you this. All right, so let me tell you this. Old Dominion University, as the pandemic was happening, so right around spring break, when this thing first started, they already cut, after that happened, like a week or two after it happened, they cut their wrestling program.
Which is one of the top in the nation, which I was very surprised when I read that.
But that's what I'm saying. Nothing is set in stone. So these players who think they might go back, we don't even know if sports will be played next year. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a big gamble. If you get drafted the top 5, you're probably pretty good, or at least they think you are. They have faith in you. But at the same time, these stipulations on how you're going to get your bonuses when they're going to get paid does not sound good to me, unless you can negotiate a higher bonus to get deferred later.
And then this is the biggest thing in the world. This could become the norm come next year when the collective bargaining agreement gets agreed to. Because remember we said MLB is trying to buy the minor league system to be their own. This could be something that could be a normal thing very soon.
Well, I'll be interested to see how this works out. And best believe I'm keeping my eyes on some of these guys who are going to get drafted because I want to see what happens.
And then the smack in the face, which we talked about, is if you don't get drafted.
Exactly.
So prior years, if you don't get drafted, the max you can be signed as a bonus, signing bonus.
$20,000 or something?
Was $125 before.
Oh, before, yes.
Now it's $20,000 max.
That's crazy. And like I said, Pujols got drafted 13th round from a Missouri junior college.
My question is this going to be deferred? Or is you get the $20,000 because it's so little, or you're talking about the ones who are getting like $1 million bonus gets deferred, but the $20,000?
I can't imagine they defer a $20,000 signing bonus. And if
here's $2,000 for signing with us?
Right, and who's going to want to take a $20,000 signing bonus anyways? If these players are getting drafted top 5 or anything like that, or even like after that happens, $20,000 is not a lot.
Yeah. So apparently it's to save money for the teams. But if you really do the math, what some people did, You're talking about only saving $2 to $3 million a year per team.
Okay.
Is that really hurting the bank?
Well, it might be, and we'll get into that later. Why it might be an issue, because right now these owners are relying on revenue coming in, and it's not.
Yeah.
So it could be a reason that some of the guys don't have huge pockets. I mean, yes, they're rich, but they need this money coming in from the season that didn't start yet.
Yeah, like you said, it's all weird, to go from 40 rounds to 5. 10, I was okay maybe making it work, but still is too short.
Yeah, I just don't get how they came up with 5. And it must be, like I said, it's got to be the money thing, because we still need to get this season rolling, and we can't do that if you're paying all these guys money that you're drafting, that you're not having extra money to come in to offset it.
And especially, it's not like you can send them to trip to minor leagues
right,
to work out
because they're not open.
There might not be no minor leagues. We don't know yet. So, but yeah, so that's